Hi, I'm Steven. That's Erock. We're from Just Got Played. And today we are talking about our top plays of February 2023. So normally what we do is we tell you what is the best game that we played, in the given month. And it doesn't matter if it was new to us or an old favorite or whatever. It's just the best game session that we had in that month. Because there's only two of us here today, though, we're going to mix the formula up a little bit. We're going to tell you what is our favorite new to us game that we played in February, and what was our favorite not new to us game that we played in February. All right, let's get started. And Erock, I will let you start. Let's start with the new games.
Absolutely. So when we were looking to do this list, I just want to say that we ended up playing a ton of games in February. There were a lot. If you follow us on Discord, I post in the general just pictures of the game we're playing when we're playing them, kind of a thing. And that's kind of the main reason I do that. So I can go back and search for them and see what did we play and things like that. And I was pleasantly surprised. There were a large number of games that we played in the month of February, which gave me a whole lot of variety to choose from. So I'm glad to be able to pick two today. And my favorite new to me game is Mosaic. I really liked Mosaic. It was not what I thought it was going to be. It's entirely overproduced, but it's a lot of fun. For those of you that don't know, Mosaic is a civilization game in which you kind of collect a lot of cards. Now, there's a map out there and everybody plays a certain country, but you're not like starting where they are. Like yellow's Egypt. They're just yellow. Like I was blue, I was Greece. It's just blue. I could go anywhere on that Mediterranean map I wanted to. It's not like you started in your home little where you're supposed to be kind of a thing or whatever. And it's really free how you can put things out on the board. You can basically build pretty much any city anywhere at any time. It's not like a military thing, or it doesn't have to be connected or anything. You can just say, all right, I'm going to build a city over there. And you do that. And then it kind of like it has these towns that go along with the cities, and they have to be connected to the city. So once I have a city down, I can put like down a farm town, and that's going to increase my food production and probably give me some food to boot. I'm going to put down like a craftsman's town or something, and that's going to, next to my city, and that's going to increase that stuff. And you have this, the arc in this game is kind of weird. I like it, and I think Tiffany would absolutely love it because this game feels like it goes through the whole game. And what I mean is, as I was playing this, and I only played it once, it was a lot of fun. I only played it once, but as we were playing this, there was a point in this game where I thought, if this was like all the other games, it would end right now. And then that was ended up being like halfway through the game. Because, the Euros that we generally play, they build up to this point, which is like right before you get everything that you want. And that's when the game ends. And this game kind of goes way past that. It gives you an opportunity to basically build all the things that you want and then run all that stuff and get a whole bunch of stuff. So that's kind of a nice arc. And I think it fits the theme really well, too, because it's about civilization building. So early in the game, you're basically kind of spreading out, building cities, building towns and stuff. And then as the game goes on, it's more and more about building up instead of building out. So you end up looking for more kinds of projects and stuff and building wonders and things like that after you've established, your civilization out there. The game plays a lot in a way like terraforming Mars, where there's all these different cards out there and they all have tags on them. So they're feeding off of the tags and scoring different tags and all this kind of thing. And I just had a really good time playing this. I think my one gripe, and I don't even own it at this point, but my one gripe is how large that is on a shelf. But it is really pretty and it was a lot of fun. And I think I'm going to look around to trying to get a copy of it. So Mosaic, that's my new to me game of the month.
This was a few months ago, but I was in my, one of my friendly local game stores, Haven Games, and they had a copy of it there. One of the Kickstarter, all the bells and whistles versions. And it was such a big box and a pretty hefty price tag too. I always like to buy something when I'm there, right? So I was looking at that. I think I would really like this game, but the size and the price, got me off of it. Just had my kids get some Pokemon cards,
Yes.
But hey, maybe they still have that copy. Maybe you should call them.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting though. You mentioned February, so many games you played. I mean, February is the shortest month, but I played a lot of games too. I played 7 new to me games, some of them multiple times, and I played 4 games that I had played before. Again, some of those multiple times. Like, where did I find all the time to play games this month? Usually, I don't get to play
That's
that
kind of
much.
amazing. Maybe it's
Yeah.
like the holiday hangover kind of a thing where like you go through November and December and it's all about family and holidays and all that. And then in January, you just so tired from all of that that you just kind of lay around and then February comes around. It's like, let's do some stuff. And then we ended up playing games like every weekend, apparently. So
Yeah, well, we actually knocked out Adventure Tactics, so maybe all my gaming was taken up by that. So I needed some
hey,
new
that's true.
stuff. Yeah. Um, all right, but my favorite new game that I played in February is really new. The publisher sent us a copy for review, and so I haven't put the review out yet. I don't think when this video is coming. I think this video is coming out first. But anyway, that game is Dice Manor. So Dice Manor is an interesting game for, I guess I played it at 4 players every time that I played it. So you roll the dice on your turn. You have a bunch of dice. So you roll your dice and then you bid with them. You can also like give these tours during the early rounds. And because it's a bidding game, it's a little bit cutthroat, right? You can actually bid on a room or the advertising track or whatever. You can bid less than what somebody else has bid because you need to use the numbers in combination, right? Like this room can only be one with 3s. So somebody has already put 2 3s there. Well, I can put 1 3 there because I only rolled 1 3, and then later I can come back and put 2 more if I roll some more 3s, So it's got this interesting thing, and you do get compensated if you don't win an auction. But the compensation isn't very good. So it is sort of cutthroat how you're competing over these rooms, but there's so many sort of competing things. You want to have one of the 6 different room types to score maximum points for diversity. But then at the same time, you want to have the most rooms of given colors to score the majority bonuses for that. But then at the same time, these rooms, they have numbers on them. And so you want to connect them in ways such that those numbers are the same so that you can give tours in the final round with like 4 6s. I can go 6, 6, 6, 6, and 4 different rooms that have 6s on them. And so there's so many different competing things. So you're just sitting there going like, well, am I going to get this? Am I going to get that? Well, he's going to bid on that one and she's going to bid on that one. So maybe I should go over here to this one because I can do this and that. And I didn't really feel like it was like analysis paralysis problem either, right? It moved along at a pretty good clip, but just looking at the game, when I first got it, I thought it was going to be sort of a light roll dice, allocate your dice, move along, but it's got like a lot of interesting decisions. And this is a game where you really don't get the game until you've played the game, unfortunately. And maybe I just need to teach it differently because you do 4 rounds of bidding and adding stuff to your manor. And then the 5th round, all you do is give a tour. And it's sort of hard to explain the give a tour until you have a manor. And so, yeah, maybe I should teach it a little bit differently by just setting up a manor and giving a tour so people understand. But that's one thing I have to say about this game and why I enjoyed it is when we finished playing, and see, it was 6 different people I played this game with. Every person after they finished their first play was like, "Oh, I get it now. Let's play again." Right? Because some games, just like, "Okay, I get it. I'll remember that for next time," or like, "Whew, that was a lot. We'll do that later." But in this one, it's just sort of fast, and it's like, I get it. I know what I would have done differently. Let's do that, right? Let's play again. And so, you got a good game in your hands when you get that feeling, right? Let's play again. So, yeah, that was my new game, Dice Manor, and I already put out an unboxing, and then I got a review video in the queue here somewhere.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's sail into old games. And I bet my game's going to be older than yours, but I'll let you go
Probably.
First.
So my favorite old to me game that I played in the month of February is Anachrony. It's been quite a while since I played Anachrony. I think honestly, since I got the giant box for it, because it's just so intimidating. Once you get these giant boxes, it's like, yeah, it's great, but man, I don't have to sift through all that stuff to get the game out kind of a thing. But Mickey, our friend, was really trying to get it to the table for a while. So we just picked a date and said, let's play on this day. And that game's awesome, man. I really enjoy that game. It's so cool. I mean, it's very thematic. So this might come around in some other kind of discussion we might have at some point, depending upon what's going on. But it's very thematic because the whole point of the game is time travel. So like the point is like we have in the future, we have discovered time travel. And we know this because they told us. And they also told us that there's a giant comet going to come down and destroy the planet. So basically there's 4 factions. If you're playing on a 4-player game, 4 factions are trying to assert how awesome they are so that everybody goes with them once the world gets hit by the comet. It's kind of weird theme. Like at the point in this game is like hundreds or whatever years in the future, and it's already after like Armageddon, and then there's a bigger Armageddon coming yet. So the theme's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's really about time travel, and you can borrow things from yourself in the future. And when you think about it, that's really just taken a loan. But the way they work it in the game, it just makes sense with the theme. They give you bonus points for, going back and fixing these things that you've done. Like if in the first round I borrow some, I don't know, titanium from myself in the future, when I go back and pay it back, I get points for using the time travel system and stuff. So it's integrated into the theme and all that.
And it's really punishing if you don't, right?
Yes, that's true. It hurts a lot if you actually don't go back and do that, because basically you're causing rifts in space-time because you didn't.
You're causing an anachronism.
You're causing anachronies, exactly. Because, I borrowed something from my future and never gave it to myself. So where did it come from? So now we have like split off, exactly, anachronies. I like a lot about what's going on in the game. This is one of those games that has one of those, this is unbelievably ridiculously overproduced parts. And that's the little mechs that come with it, because
you don't have to get those, man.
You don't have to get the mechs. Absolutely not. Like it works just as well putting your little character on a cardboard disc that shows it's a mech, because that's all it does. Like when you go to the Capitol to perform one of the worker action placement spots there, then you have to go in a mech, because like I said, it's already past the first Armageddon, whatever. And it's like so dangerous and unhealthy just out in the world that you have to be in a mech to go and do that. So that's the only purpose they serve at all, is just to show that because you have to like basically power them up. So it's some other thing that you have like upkeep on in order to go and do these other actions. So, but like I said, of course we have the giant stupid mechs and you slot your little character in them and it's awesome, but it's so not necessary for the actual gameplay. But it is awesome. I really like this game. It's really cool.
So when you played, how many times do you think people borrowed from themselves?
Oh, a lot, actually. I'd say probably an average of 3 things per round in 5 to 6 rounds. And not everybody. I just mean overall, out of the 4 of us, I'd say there was an average of 3 things per round that were borrowed from the future.
I played one time and 2 of us did it. And that was it. The whole game, like 2 times. Because it's the threat of not being able to resolve that is so punishing. That I think a lot of people don't do it. And, again, I said that I played it one time and I was really disappointed because I played that game because of that mechanism. And then when I learned the game, I was like, man, it's so punishing that the game wants you to not do the thing, which is the coolest thing about the game, that was a little disappointing to me. But again, that was just all new players playing no, actually, I only think half of us were new. I think the other 2 people were not new. But anyway, yeah.
So, I don't want to go too deep into the rabbit hole here, but I hear what you're saying. It seems very intimidating to new players because you're right. It's punishing. Like whoever's leading, whoever took the most stuff, like every round, whoever took the most stuff in the past has to roll this die. And they're going to get these little Anachrony tokens. And if you get 3 of those Anachrony tokens, then you get like an Anachrony that goes on your board, and it takes up space and it takes an action and some product to get it off of your board. So there is definitely a penalty there. So I think new players go one of 2 ways. They either I'm not messing with that at all, which you don't have to. It's just a worker placement game. So if you don't want to borrow stuff from the future, you don't have to. You just go get what you can now and use that kind of stuff, right? There, I lost my train. But basically, what was I saying?
Yeah. Well, you were just saying that if you know the game, like you know how to use the system and
new
you do
players.
it a lot, right?
One of two things: either they don't do it at all because they're intimidated by it, or they just do it to play with it, right? Mm-hmm. To see, well, how's this go and all that. But I think after you've played the game a number of times, there are a number of advantages to doing that aren't apparent at first. For instance, most times you need to go and get resources to do the thing you want to do. If I just get it from the future, I skip that step. And now I'm going to an action space to do something early, which means I'm probably going to get it. If I try to go through this like 3-stage process of going and getting resources and stuff that I need to do the action that I want to do, it might not be there till I get all that stuff. So the borrowing from the future really helps like accelerate each of your turns. And yes, you do have to go back and pay it back later on, but I think the benefits outweigh the cost for that if you're on top of it and you know what you want to do. But it highly rewards you knowing what you want to do for your whole turn, because then you know what you need to get from yourself in the future to do that turn. And I said I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, so I'll shut up.
I'm going to say one more thing, John. So I don't know if you played much with John, but John, if a game will allow you to end, to have some mechanism to end the game early, John will do that every time to screw everybody up. And Anachrony has that. There's something you can do. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, some of the modules. I've never actually played with any of the modules. It's another one of the things that comes in the giant box. But one of the modules actually sets up the 4 factions to be 2v2. And 2 of them are trying to make the meteor hit, and 2 of them are trying to not let it hit. And that really changes the end of the game, because there's this huge scoring chunk, probably 40% of your points you get when the comet hits or whatever, and then you evacuate. And you get a ton of points for this evacuation event. But if the 2 factions manage to not bring that in, that's not going to happen, which means that you're not going to score any of those points. So I'm kind of interested to play that module. It's been kind of new players every time I've played. So I've always just kind of, done base game stuff, but.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I figured my game was older than yours, and I am correct. So my old game for the month is the most played board game in the world, possibly the most played board game in history. Can you guess it?
Chess?
Chess. So in 2014, chess.com said they had logged 1 billion plays of chess on their website in 2014. In February of 2023,
wow, that's a lot.
In February of 2023, they announced that they had 1 billion plays on chess.com. In the month of February, 1 billion plays of chess. 1 billion
plays?
In the month of February. And this is just the chess.com website. There is a lot of chess played other than that website, including my plays of chess, which have been exclusively with my 9-year-old son. And that is what has really elevated the game for me. So I used to play chess a lot when I was younger. When I was in high school and college, I competed in tournaments. I would enter tournaments, and I won money, and I won the Pan American Open with my college team, and went to the state finals with my high school team, et cetera. Right? I liked playing chess. I didn't really study it. I just liked playing. Today you'll get creamed if you try to play competitively and you don't study it. You have to memorize openings and stuff. But there's been a rise in what's called Blitz and Rapid. Blitz, I think, is maybe 5 minutes on the clock, and Rapid is maybe 1 for each player. It's ridiculous. So it's just really fast. And that's one of the reasons why there are, billions of games played, because you got these people playing, games that last 2 minutes. But my son has been doing chess club at his school, which is Wizard's Chess, by the way. It's got the Harry Potter theme on it, I guess. And so he's been practicing and studying and playing against kids at school and in tournaments. And I had taught him to play chess, but he could never beat me. And so then he's been chess club and doing stuff and doing stuff and doing stuff. And so then I think for a while he just didn't want to play me. Like he wanted to practice and get better or whatever. And then just all of a sudden he wanted to play me again. So spoiler, he still has not beat me, but he is a better chess player. And I tell you, you get rusty, right? If you don't play chess, you get rusty. So if he keeps playing and practicing with his school every week and I'm not playing, then he's going to beat me here soon. But that's what I love about chess, just the joy of sharing it with my son. And I actually do follow some chess players on YouTube. I don't want to watch a lot of in-depth videos, but there's one really popular video maker. His name's Gotham Chess. He makes some videos that are funny, and so I've shown those to my kids too, and they think those are funny. Where he's like critiquing games from 500 ELO chess players. 500 is a pretty low ranking in chess. ELO is a ranking system that it applies to. You can apply it to anything. I think Board Game Arena even gives ELOs to board game players. Is that per game or is that your overall ELO that Board Game Arena does?
Per game.
Per game. Yeah, that makes more sense. So anyway, so the kids just like, watching him critique these bad players playing. And one of which is one of the guy's subscribers too. So it's not like he's being mean. He's just critiquing it and it's funny. And then hopefully they're learning something. There's Hikaru Nakamura. I follow him. The Botes sisters, I follow them. There's lots of other people. I think some guy named Ludwig is the biggest chess streamer, maybe on Twitch or something. And then Magnus Carlsen, I think, puts out some videos. He's the reigning world chess champion, although he won't be very soon. He's decided not to defend his title for whatever reason. Interestingly, though, there's been a big renaissance in chess. I think during COVID, actually, it really jumped up. But just the fact that people can stream, and then you've got these websites where people play, and then the Rapid and the Blitz. And then this Magnus Carlsen guy, some people say he's possibly the best chess player ever, or maybe second behind like Kasparov. And some people maybe throw Bobby Fischer up there because Bobby Fischer was just sort of out of left field, playing not like other people. But it is interesting because I grew up in the whole generation of man versus machine, right? Where it was Kasparov played Deep Blue, actually. And that was sort of the turning point where computers now could reliably beat humans at chess. And now today, it's ridiculous. Stockfish is the highest rated game playing AI, I think, in the world. There are some other really good ones. And it's interesting too, because when you play on chess.com or these other sites, you can go back and look at your moves. You can watch your game and you can see what's called the engine move, which is what the chess engine would have done, right? And you could sort of break down like, where did the wheels fall off for me? Sometimes the engine wants to do something different, but it's not. It's not something you could have ever done. Like even if you had made that move, you aren't going to make the subsequent 5 moves that made that move smart. So it probably wasn't a good move for you, even though it's right for the engine. It's just sort of odd and complicated, but it is really crazy how chess has taken off. And I wonder if other games that will happen. Like if they made Blitz or Rapid Go, would that take off? Not to say that Go is not popular. Go is very popular, but nothing is taken off like chess, and it's for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, there has been a resurgence lately. It's kind of weird, but I feel like it's just the cycle. You know what I mean? But I used to play a lot of chess too. I don't play a lot of chess anymore. It's just some of this other stuff is just so much more fun. No offense to chess, but like I have fun playing a lot of other stuff. Like modern board games and stuff.
Yeah. Well, but see, that's the other thing though, right? If you play blitz chess or rapid chess, or you play against a 9-year-old kid, you're not sitting there for 3 hours playing a chess game,
right?
Right? It's 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something,
Yeah.
Which, a lot of these games, I can play a chess game faster than I can set up some of these board games. Yeah. So
true. I have never played rapid. We used to, play the old man style.
Well, because I used to participate in tournaments, I have one of those old boards that's sort of a plastic mat that rolls up. and the durable plastic pieces. And it came with a clock. And that wind-up clock still works, even though it's
That's awesome.
ancient. Yeah. Right. So, I don't have to really use the clock with my 9-year-old, but sometimes we have, or sometimes there's just a clock on me and not on him, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go back to playing chess games that take an hour or 2 hours, or play by mail or whatever.
Yes.
But just
Play by mail.
I mean, when I was a kid, at some point, I had postcards, and they were designed for you to mail your chess move to somebody. Like the U.S. Chess Federation gave them to me when I joined, because you had to join to participate in these tournaments or something. And I tried it once or twice, because I had these cards. I was like, whatever, because this was really before most people had access to email. So yeah, but yeah, I'm not into the whole read a book on an opening, memorize an opening and the different lines, and break down the strategies. I just kind of want to look at the board and respond to the board, because that's fun for me. I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to have fun. I mean, at the same time, I'm not going to let my son beat me just because he wants to win. Right?
No, absolutely not, man.
He's got to legit beat me, right?
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I might play a strategy I don't normally play. If I'm playing, Jacoby, I'm still trying to win, but I might do some things I wouldn't normally do just to play around with the game space a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. I don't have to play so conservatively when I'm playing against him, right? I can just try some offensive plan that I've got. And if it doesn't work out, I might be down 1 or 2 points of material, and I'll probably make that up, but whatever.
Indeed.
All right, cool. So there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. 4 games, 2 old, 1 really
I feel
old.
like there were 2 different lectures in this tonight. That's awesome.
This is what happens when you put the 2 of us together.
Yeah,
we don't have
exactly,
Lloyd telling us, come on, guys.
It's turned into, Eric and Steve just hanging out, talking evening. Thanks for joining us for Eric and Steve Hang Out and Talk. That's excellent.
Cool. Hey, you know what? If you would like to hang out and talk with us, well, lucky you. Look at the description of this video. We have a Discord channel. We hang out there and, answer your questions, talk to you, whatever you want to talk about. I would even play a game of chess with you on there if you really wanted to. I mean, all right, I'll play first person to ask. All right. But, if you have any other questions, put those in the comments of the YouTube video. Like, share, subscribe. All of that helps us out. We do appreciate that. But this was our best games played in February. So we will see you again in March with our best games from March. Until then, thanks.
Bye. See you next time.